Sri Lanka's coral reefs are under many pressures. Harmful fishing practices, tourist resort development and coral mining have all taken their toll. And then a few years ago, nature itself dealt a severe blow.
In 1998, we had the most severe coral bleaching event in the Indian Ocean, and we probably lost 80% of the corals in the southern coastline in Sri Lanka in that year.
That coral bleaching was due to rising sea temperatures and climatic anomalies. But a group of young Sri Lankan divers decided to do something about it. The Nature Conservation Group, a small environmental organisation, is engaged in restoring the Rumasala coral reef.
Rumasala Reef is a special place because even before 1998, this was the most highly biodiverse coral reef in the southern coastline. And even after the bleaching event, this took on a special importance because most of the corals survived in this reef when they died in other reefs.
Restoring a coral reef takes time, effort and patience. First, Prasanna and fellow divers work hard to clear debris and sediment that smother the living corals. Sometimes they also remove invasive species that can kill healthy corals. Then they replant corals, piece by piece.
It was essential that any attempt at surviving the reefs needed to look at restoration. If a forest is destroyed, you don't wait for it to grow back on its own, you replant it. So we had to look at restoration in a serious way.
They systematically study different coral species and choose the faster growing ones for replanting. In this underwater nursery, sensitive corals are nurtured until they are ready. Several thousand coral pieces have been planted at strategic places in the Rumasala reef. That will accelerate the reef's growth and recovery. It's not just new knowledge that can help save the greenbelts. Traditional knowledge and practices can play a key role as well. The Moken are indigenous people living along the coast and islands in southern Thailand. They are sometimes known as sea gypsies. The tsunami devastated the Moken way of life. Their temporary huts were destroyed and many families lost loved ones. The losses would have been greater if not for the mangrove forest close to the village.
หมกเลนนั้นรักน้ำรักปลารักทุกสิ่งทุกอย่างแล้วรักสุดๆคือปลาโกงกลางเป็นคล้ายๆว่าปลาโกงกลางนั้นสิ่งมีชีวิตได้ช่วยเหลือหมกเลนมาตลอดแต่เป็นคนแค่ว่ารักสุดๆเลยในเกาะนี้
After the tsunami, some Moken villagers settled down on the mainland. A few returned to the island and are now trying to restore their mangrove.
คือมันได้ทำลายปลาทำลายสัตว์น้ำทุกสิ่งทุกอย่างคือว่าเกี่ยวกับชีวิตของมนุษย์ด้วยคือนี่คือสึนามิทำลายถึงทีนี้ประชาชนแค่ว่าหมกเลนนี้ก็ต้องการจิปลูกสร้างขึ้นมาเมื่อ
The replanting work is led by two women. Dune has worked with conservation organisations where she learnt how to protect mangroves and endangered species. She notices recent differences in her environment.
การปลูกต้นไม้จะมีหลายอย่างนะคะแต่ว่าอย่างเช่นหญ้าค่ะเมื่อก่อนจะเป็นทุ่งหญ้าแต่ป่านนี้จะเป็นพวกหญ้าเชื้อพืชพวกนี้มากกว่าแล้วค่ะแทนที่เมื่อก่อนมันจะท่มให้เกาะนี้ไกลกว่าไปเรื่อยแต่ปีนี้มันกลับมากินนะคะตั้งแต่นี้มา
The tsunami impact is not the only factor affecting the mangroves here. Dynamite fishing, oil leaking from boats and broken fishing nets are all damaging this greenbelt.
ป่าชุมชนนั่นคือว่าเป็นป่าส่วนหนึ่งของหมกเลนคือไม่ต้องการทางให้มันเตี้ยนคือต้องการปลูกสร้างให้มันอยู่ของเดิมไม่ต้องการให้กลุ่มน้อยมาเตียวทางเตียวเพลคือโกงกลางนี้ช่วยชีวิตของหมกเลนมากมาย
Replanted mangroves will not only protect the village, but also ensure a continued supply of shell, fish and crabs, their main source of income and food. The Moken have traditionally managed the mangroves in a sustainable manner. They fish in different areas of the forest during the year, giving time for fish stocks to regenerate. Logging for firewood is done in moderation, only in designated areas. Sadly, outsiders who come here don't respect or follow the Moken traditions. Only a few Moken are here to guard the mangrove. We can only hope that Kiab and Dune succeed. Different ecosystems, different local conditions. But conserving Asia's remaining greenbelt involves similar challenges. The good news is that more and more local communities and activists are taking up these challenges. Their efforts offer some hope for the beleaguered greenbelt of Asia. But much more remains to be done. As the memories of the Asian tsunami fade, there's a danger that its important environmental lessons might also be forgotten.
We see great emphasis on building new, even more infrastructure in the coastal areas than even pre-tsunami. If you go to places in Phuket Island, you'll be amazed to see all the new infrastructure that's being built. So I think the lessons have not been learned.
Environmentalists have a long struggle ahead defending or restoring coastal greenbelts. Yet there is also hope.
We do not want to have land title, but we want to have the right to manage and use the resources in sustainable way.
Restoration, if it is going to have an effect, has to be done in a wide scale. And our main target is to spread into other reefs.
Community involvement, give them right to manage their forest.
ปลูกได้แต่ที่ไว้ตัวต้นนึงตั้งหลายปีไงคะแล้วก็ที่เขาทำลายคือวันเดียวเขาสามารถทำลายได้